Welcome back, fight fans. It's your host, Calvin, here with another hard-hitting update from Fight Recap. Today, we've got some serious drama outside the ropes, involving one of boxing's top promoters, Eddie Hearn, and his frustration over failed negotiations for a unification bout featuring the welterweight champion, Jaron Boots Ennis, and WBO champ, Brian Norman Jr. Get ready, because this one's heating up. Alright, here's the breakdown. Promoter Eddie Hearn expressed his anger this Thursday after talks for a unification bout between his newest star, Jaron Boots Ennis, and Brian Norman Jr. went up in smoke. Hearn had put a hefty $1.5 million offer on the table for Norman Jr. But the response? A big fat no from Team Norman. Hearn didn't hold back, calling the offer a fortune and blasting Norman Jr. for turning it down. Now, many of us are scratching our heads here. $1.5 million. A fortune? Really, Eddie? If you're calling that a fortune, you must be banking on Brian Norman Jr. staying broke. Because let's be real, this amount is pocket change compared to what's at stake. But here's where things get spicy. Hearn seems convinced that at just 23 years old, Norman won't see an opportunity like this again in his career. He even suggested that had he not been so stingy, he might have offered the $2 million that Norman Jr. was asking for. And why? Because Boots Ennis needs those titles to move forward. Let's talk strategy. Boots Ennis is gearing up to defend his EF title against mandatory challenger Karen Chukhajian on November 9th in Philadelphia. Initially, Hearn hinted that Boots might drop his EF title to pursue bigger fights, but he later backtracked, now suggesting that Boots will stay on course with the bout against Karen. Boots is adamant about staying at 147 pounds and isn't willing to give up that EF title. But here's the kicker: if he ends up in a rematch with Chukhajian, his popularity could take a nosedive. Hearn knows that a fight against Norman would have been an electrifying showdown, a slugfest guaranteed to thrill the fans. But thanks to these failed negotiations, we're left with Boots potentially chasing Karen around the ring for 12 rounds, a scenario that could make him look, well, less than impressive. Here's the reality check. Folks, Boots Ennis is on a mission to unify the division. But to do that, Hearn's going to have to cough up the cash for champions like Norman Jr., Barrios, and Stanionis. The longer Hearn waits, the more popular these champions could become, driving their asking prices through the roof. In a recent interview on the Matchroom Boxing YouTube channel, Hearn vented his frustrations over the negotiations. He claimed they offered Stanionis well over $1 million, asking where else is he going to find that kind of money. But guess what? Stanionis, Brian Norman Jr., and the rest aren't biting. Hearn went on to suggest that these fighters are afraid of stepping up to the challenge, saying they know they can't beat Boots. There's no ambition to be great. He called out Norman directly, saying he has the chance to rise to stardom with a $1.5 million payday, yet he doesn't seem interested. Look, here's the deal. Eddie Hearn is clearly struggling to close the deals necessary for Boots Ennis to become the undisputed champ. His negotiations with Stanionis have hit a wall, and he's not making any progress with Barrios. It's becoming painfully clear that Hearn's approach might be too focused on immediate profits rather than the bigger picture of long-term success. To put it bluntly, Hearn needs to stop penny pinching and start investing in these fighters. If not, Boots may have to kiss his dreams of undisputed glory goodbye. At this point, maybe it's time for someone else to take over these negotiations, someone who's got their eye on the prize and isn't afraid to make the tough calls. That's the scoop. Fight fans, as always, keep it locked on Fight Recap for all the latest news, fight breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes drama. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more of the content you crave. Until next time, keep your hands up and your eyes on the prize. We'll see you ringside.